Greetings everyone, it's Kaz here bringing you a video on Middle-earth Shadow of War, and now it's absolutely just fantastic, isn't it? Just glorious that now there's confirmed to be microtransactions. Hip hip hooray, ladies and gentlemen. This plague that has swept our industry has now made its way into Middle-earth Shadow of War, and it friggin' sucks, man. It's terrible. Microtransactions are terrible for our industry. They're spreading like a plague, and they're perhaps the most anti-consumer thing anyone could ever place into their product. And it, for the most part, as a practice, has stayed in the realm of multiplayer games, specifically competitive multiplayer games. We've seen it with AAA console releases more and more, with the likes of Ubisoft games like Rainbow Six Siege, etc. Things like that. For Honor as well comes to mind. But for the most part, they have stayed out of mainly big single-player AAA experiences. There are a few exceptions to that, including Assassin's Creed. That franchise has had cosmetic microtransactions in the past, so that is an exception. But for the most part, microtransactions have not been in the AAA space in terms of big single-player releases. But Monolith Soft and WB have told you to get stuffed because they've put it in Middle-earth Shadow of War. Let's look at some of the details, shall we? So a representative of Monolith Soft has come out and spoken about these microtransactions, and here's what they had to say. An important aspect of the Nemesis system now comes in forging, customizing, and leading your own army of unique orc followers against the fortresses of Mordor. There are different ways to do this, including dominating orcs by exploring the vast open world and encountering them as a part of orc society. All players can acquire orcs and other items through the market, which is what they're calling the in-game store. So GameSpot broke down exactly what all this means, what all the unique features are. I'll leave the article in the description down below. Here's what you'll be able to obtain in this market. Players will be able to purchase war chests, which provide orc followers of varying rarity to help forge a strong army. They can also contain training orders to level up and customize orc followers. XP boosts are consumables that help level up Talion faster, and bundles package up loot chests, war chests, and boosts together at a great value. These items are obtainable by spending in-game currency called Mirian, which you get in the game by defeating certain orcs, destroying gear, destroying orc followers for gear, which can then be destroyed for Mirian, or finding Mirian stashes within the game world. You can also buy items in Shadow of War with gold, which you can get by spending real money. Additionally, you will get a small amount of gold at specific milestones in the game. Is this sounding familiar? Because this sounds like every mobile game that's ever existed. Gold is another form of in-game currency that can be used to get higher level loot chests, war chests, boosts, and bundles of the aforementioned content. Monolith made it very clear that everything in Shadow of War can be obtained through normal gameplay. Oh, no crap. That's what they always freaking say, man. That's what they always say, and that's always the case. And some games do it okay, some games don't. Some games are able to balance that in-game currency system well enough where, sure, you actually are earning this in-game currency at a decent enough rate, where using real-world money was simply an acceleration process that doesn't affect gameplay all that much. And even though the whole practice of microtransactions pisses me off, if they're able to balance it well, I don't mind. But in terms of how Shadow of War can balance it, still got no idea. We'll have to wait and see in that regard. So I'm not overly surprised about this news. I am annoyed and frustrated that this is happening more and more, but it's not super surprising. AAA games, as I mentioned earlier, more and more microtransactions coming to them, which is really terrible. It sucks so much, I can't stand it. It's an absurd practice, and it really sucks that us as gamers are now just having to accept this as a regular part of our gameplay. When I buy a video game, I expect to have the full video game, full stop. That's it. DLC and expansions, in my mind, is a whole nother topic in conversation because you are getting added content. Real legit content that the developers put time and effort into. So I do see that as a bit different, but simply paying for items to accelerate the process is just, it's terrible, man. So in terms of what I think about the microtransactions in this current form, as I've mentioned to you thus far, I hate the practice, but if they're able to balance it right within the single player stuff, I will be okay with it. Other games have done it before. If they're able to balance it right, if you are consistently earning in-game currency, fine, and it really is just a really extra side thing that doesn't matter too much and won't affect you, I'm okay with that. I can rest easy. Right now, at this point in time, I don't want to jump to conclusions. I don't want to make assumptions because I haven't played the game yet. We haven't seen how the system fully works as of yet. I don't want to jump to too many conclusions, but as of right now, in this moment, it looks like there's a decent chance that this will have pay to win aspects. We'll have to wait and see how bad it is. I'm not going to fully judge yet. I hate microtransactions. I just can't stand them. I've made that very clear today, but I don't want to fully judge yet in case I could be completely wrong and in a month it releases and it's actually totally fine. But there is some very bad stuff going on here. So I hope for everyone that picks up the game, I'm not sure if I'm going to pick it up yet. I'll have to wait and see. But for anyone who does, including hopefully myself if I do end up deciding to pick it up, hopefully these are okay. These are on the side and they aren't too bad. But I don't want to get my hopes up for that as of yet. I am kind of dreading the worst right now. And on a broader scale, I just hope that our industry is not plagued by these microtransactions for much longer. I'm hoping within the next 5 years or so that they do dwindle out of the AAA space. Although I do think that's a bit of wishful thinking on my part. So what do you all think of Shadow of War's microtransactions? Let me know in the comment section below. All my social links are in the description below as always. But that's enough from me. I'll see you all next time. Thank you for watching. Do take care. Farewell.